Coming into all fours position, lean back a little bit so you can pick up your hands and notice your finger pads and the thumb pads. All of those go on the mat, evenly spread. And the center of the wrists go your outer shoulder width to the outside of the shoulder. So here's my outer shoulder, the very outside edge, and there's the center of my wrist. That's how wide the hands go when the hands are the foundation in a lot of our poses, such as downward facing dog, the all fours position, cobra, etc., handstands. So lean back a little bit, have the center of your wrists outer shoulder width, spread your fingers evenly, and begin to claw the earth and drag back and claw with your thumbs as well, just enough to feel tone in your hands. And then press the index finger metacarpal knuckles down whilst keeping all the finger pads and thumbs rooted. And then slowly begin to lower the heels of your hands without just dumping the weight into them. And look at the creases that come right where your wrist bends. I call that your wrist crease. And align that wrist crease. You can turn the hands a little bit to align the wrist creases to make one line from one wrist to the other, that if you're using a mat, that line would be parallel with the front of your mat. Then keeping that, straighten your arms and bring more weight over that foundation in your hands. Keeping your arms straight, get bright inside and notice if your fingers are evenly spread, if the finger pads are pressing down, the thumbs clawing, the index finger metacarpals, are they rooted down? And keeping that in honor of the foundation of your very being, soften between your shoulder blades. And begin to breathe long ribbons of breath through the nose, Ujjayi breath. And maintaining the foundation, always come back to the foundation. Inhale and turn your sitting bones up and arch your back to look forward, cow. Notice the pause, begin to exhale, scoop the tailbone in, lift your navel and look into your heart, cat. Inhale to cow. Start with the pelvis and sitting bones moving, then roll through the spine to open your heart forward, moving with your breath. Exhale, cat. Start with the tailbone, the pelvis, the low back, the middle of your back, your upper back, then your head and neck. And notice your foundation again. Did you maintain it? Maintain the foundation. Inhale, cow. Start with the pelvis. Keep the foundation. Notice if it tends to move. The foundation of your very being is unwavering. It never changes. Set your foundation in a way that honors the foundation of your being, that represents what it is that supports you in the world as an expression of consciousness, as the one and only you. And one more into cat. Notice the foundation in the hands. Notice how it wants to move. But the foundation is the first principle, so we really want to keep that. Exhale both feet to your right. Keep weight over both hands, even through the index finger metacarpals and all the finger pads, lightly clawing the mat and the thumb pads clawing. And look over your right shoulder to see your toes, see your heels, and invite more breath into your left waistline and rib cage, intercostal area. Enjoy your breath whilst maintaining remembrance of your foundation, the foundation of your being, the foundation in your hands that represents something that supports you and is at the essence of your being. On your next inhalation, return the feet and spine to neutral. Maintain the foundation. Keep the intention, the remembrance, the recognition of your foundation. Take your feet over to the left. Look over your left shoulder, back at your feet. And breathe into your right side body. Notice that there's weight on both hands. What about the metacarpal knuckles, the ones that surround your palms? Are they all down, especially the index finger metacarpal knuckle? Are the fingertips still lightly clawing the mat? And on your next inhalation, return to neutral without wavering in the foundation to the best of your ability. And exhale, separate your knees, bring your big toes together and come into child's pose. And you relax the arms and hands now and feel how strengthening that was for your wrists. And you know, when you set the foundation that clearly in the hands, it's very good for your wrists. It prevents collapsing into your wrists. And it's much more supportive when we start to do other sorts of poses that are kinds of handstands. Think about it, what we just did was a type of handstand. And if you can't get it there, there's no hope that you'd probably ever do a really clear and solid actual handstand. You know, the pose that we think of as the handstand, if you can't even get it in all fours. So we start with the foundation, and that gives us something to build upon. Other poses that are using the hands are the cobra, the downward facing dog, the plank. Let's try some of those. So come back up. Be light on your hands by leaning back. Move the center of your wrist out to shoulder width. Spread your fingers evenly. Claw and lower your metacarpal knuckles. And then notice as you bring weight forward over the wrist and slowly lower the heels of your hands, other wrist creases, creating one line from one wrist to the other. If not, you can turn the hands a little bit, you know, just like a dial to get them just right. Notice which fingers spread more, one spreads and some others don't. Invite them to be evenly placed. So you're setting your foundation with great care in order to build something. Move your knees back just a little bit so that when your hips are over your knees, your hands end up one handprint forward of your shoulders. Maintaining that. Keep your foundation, straighten your arms, and get bright inside. Feel like you're full of light, even on your back waistline, and then soften between your shoulder blades without collapsing. Tuck your toes under, keep your knees bent at first, spread your toes, turn the sitting bones up a little, find a good lumbar curve, and remember your foundation, especially your index finger metacarpal knuckles. And begin to stretch back into the pose gradually, little by little, maintaining your foundation. Get a clear lumbar curve, and if you can keep the lumbar curve, then begin to straighten your legs any amount. Bend one knee a little more and reach the opposite heel towards the ground, but notice both hands. Are they both reaching into the earth evenly through the finger pads and thumb pads, through the metacarpal knuckles? So you can be a little lighter in the heels of your hands and put more weight out towards the fingers and knuckles, and slowly switch to the other leg without changing the foundation. The foundation of your very being never changes. So let the foundation of your pose be representative of the foundation of your being. And reach both heels towards the earth, any amount without losing your lumbar curve. Inhale, right leg up. Keep the foundation even in both hands. Even if your leg doesn't go very high, just maintain the foundation. And with intention that honors your foundation, express this pose from your heart down into the foundation of the hands and up to your hips, down through the bottom heel and up through the lifted leg and foot. Exhale, lower that foot and consider lifting the other leg. Keep the foundation evenly placed in both hands with clarity in your foundation that honors the foundation of your being. Express the pose from your heart down into the foundation in the hands, up from your heart to your hips, down. One more deep breath. Exhale to lower your foot and bring the knees to the earth. Receive a full breath and make fists and then spread your fingers. Make a fist, squeeze, and then straighten. Fist, and spread your fingers, and make fists, and curl your fists in, like your Popeye, and your forearms get really strong. Curl in strongly, and slowly begin to straighten just your elbows while keeping the wrists very bent. Keep the wrists curled in and straighten just your elbows, any amount. Remember, it's not about how far you go, it's about how you go far. Curl in, keep the wrists curled in, your fists curled in, and straighten just your elbows, any amount that they will. Careful not to hyperextend them if you're very mobile. Straighter without losing the bend in the wrist. That was a counter pose to what you just did. So you can then shake out your wrist and feel the effect of what you just did. Exhale, child's pose. Now the foundation changes. It's the tops of your feet and your knees. So you can sit back and relax in your arms and hands. Think of this as a pranam or bow in honor of your essential nature and foundation.